It's been about 12 hours since we spoke last. But a lot of great things. We're bowl eligible again, six years in a row, which is the longest streak in our program history. So we're proud of that. 6-0 at home, which is pretty special year for playing at Waldo, which is exciting. Really trying to send the seniors out. I know senior night was two games ago, but their last game at Waldo means a ton to them, and I thought the seniors played great. Obviously, John Wasnick, I thought, played a great game. He ran the ball for over 100 yards, but what he did is he got us in and out of plays the whole day. I mean, we took some shots and called some plays that we didn't get good looks, and he kept getting us out of them. In fact, the touchdown to win the game was a check. He got us out of one play and got us into another play. It was a great run by Bells, but he got us out of a play that would have potentially been a tackle for loss. Obviously he's a finalist for the Campbell Trophy. We did find out he's a semifinalist for the Werfel Trophy as well, which is pretty cool. And now we go to Ohio in a week. So obviously I think they're number one or tied for number one in the East. Good team, road game. I respect Coach Solich, what they do and how they do it. They're solid in every phase, and we're going to have to play a great road game, to keep our hopes going.
I hesitate to do this because every win is different, but at the same time, last night, all things considered, what was on the line, have to win to stay in it. Is that the biggest win you've had as the head coach of Western Michigan?
Yeah, because it was the last one, I'd say. I like the way it ended. I mean, I look back at some of the big wins, and I think of the year we had at Elmhurst where we won 10 games, and we won a ton of games like that. We were you got to be able to win close games in the last minute. And I think that year we won 6 games in the last minute of the game, where it was in balance at the end, needed a stop or needed a score. And you have to be good in those situations when you play. I mean, very rarely, maybe once every 25 years, you're going to have a team that blows everybody out. That's a very, very, maybe 1 in 50. I mean, it's hard to do. You're going to have to win when you're playing what was the number one team. Now they're tied with a whole group of us. You're going to have to win in the fourth quarter and win in the last minute. And when they scored and gave us 3 minutes left, I felt pretty good about our chances. Didn't want to score too fast, not too slow. I thought of Eastern a little bit. And, we did a good job scoring, left them a minute. And then our defense, we needed a stop, and they made a stop. Ollie was unblockable at the end of the game there. And we got the stop we needed. But, yeah, it was huge because of the way it ended, and the way the game was. And we're playing a really quality opponent. It was, it was the biggest one since yesterday.
Cam Coleman, top-rated recruit for the last class, hasn't seen the field this year. 4 games left. You can play him all you want and still save his red shirt. Do you see him getting any time?
Probably not. I don't know if he's ready. That's the biggest thing. A talented kid, but I don't know if he knows what he's doing yet. I mean, he's picking it up slowly, but I love what Mixon's doing. He's playing like a senior. I got to take reps off of Mixon to play someone, a guy that's going to play a lot, I think, in some, if he continues to work and get better. But I do think he has a bright future. But, if we get some injuries, yeah, I mean, he'll be ready to go. But he's not – right now he's not in the plans because I think it'd be a drop-off. Now you'll see some guys on special teams, that are going to start playing some more and more. And it'll be fun for us now to be able to play some of those guys. Another guy that I think has been having a great last couple of weeks is Petty. He's been kicking the ball really well in practice. So he can, we wanted to redshirt him this year, and we're past that point. So we will be able to use him in the last couple of games, which would be huge for us. So you're going to see some of that, but I don't know if you'll see Cam.
You went from, playing so many games in a row, and then you get the break, you have a game next Tuesday and then another break. Does it almost feel like the schedule's flipped and your guys can kind of be fresh now?
Not this week because we're 1 week. It's kind of we feel rushed again. Last week it was only a 3-day break and it felt like an eternity. I mean, our guys. I think we did a good job with our schedule, getting it to a point where we were ready for a long day. I mean, it was a miserably long day. I mean, you don't kick off till 8:00. You got them up in the morning. We brought them to the facility. We had our meetings. We had a walk through just to keep busy through noon. Got back here to the Radisson. Let them rest in the afternoon, and and then got to the hotel, and still it was dark before we even kicked off. And we had been doing that. That's the great thing. One of the really cool things about Maction when you're making that transition, one of the advantages of it is being able to practice later. When you practice on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can practice whenever you want. So you can start getting them used to getting up and having to kind of wait around all day. We're not used to that. Our guys lift in the morning all year, 365. You know, they are up in the morning, get our work done, up in the morning, get our work done. So I did think us being able to change our schedule, we did that last year for the Northern game, and it worked. And I thought we came out, scored on our first drive, played a good first half. You know, I felt like we didn't come in sleepwalking. You know, we might have came out halftime sleepwalking, but I definitely think that change helped us a little bit. But yes, it felt like forever, those extra 3 days. And now we're back to a normal week, a short week for them. They play tonight, big game. It'll be fun to watch. And then we got 2 weeks, and that's going to be, I'm going to try to give them days off and let them rest. And but they felt good. I mean, I had tons of bells in particular, guys coming just saying how fresh they felt. And it showed on their times in practice, how fast we were running. So I think we maximized our 3 days, but because 9 in a row, it felt great.
One of our photographers shot a pretty cool photo of Justin Tranquil kind of staring out in the field, after the game, kind of looked like he was reflecting, on all of his times at Waldo, kind of in the tunnel. Can you just kind of take us back, as a player, what that is like, just those final moments?
It's you remember your last game. For me, it was senior day, but it's an emotional thing. We're going to practice in the stadium tomorrow morning, but being able to play and come out that tunnel, there's nothing like it. And it's I had that same feeling. I think it was February or March. Was my first time when I was named the head coach here. My first time on the field where we were going out there to do a workout, and you get kind of nostalgic about all the things that have happened there. And this senior class has 32 wins. It's the third, tied for our third most ever. 35 is the record. So they've won a ton of games on that field. Obviously, this year undefeated. So I know they were getting. I always talk to the seniors on the sideline, and they were excited, emotional, and it was great the way it ended. They've done so much, and they maximized their opportunity last night. It was a 60-minute game. We've been talking about playing a 60-minute game, and I think we've been prepared to play it. Some teams we've blown out before we could get to that 60-minute game, but this team was willing to go the distance, and we outlasted them, which was huge, and it was a great way for those guys to walk off that field last night.
Played on ESPN2 last night. You'll get another couple chances to play for a nationally televised audience. Is that something that gets your players juiced up, or something that is kind of extracurricular you don't pay too much attention? I
think they love it. The TV timeouts are long now. 3 minutes. I don't know if you noticed, but 3-4, 3-4. Timeouts in a quarter. The first one's a 3-minute. A lot of standing on the sideline. We talk about it, though. I told them in the morning, I say, this is an ESPN game. We get to play in front of the world. And I said, you guys are going to have to, move around on the sideline. 3 minutes is normally it's 2 minutes, but they get an extra minute. So, but it's a unique opportunity to tell a story about our program, our players, our school, our town, and that's the special part. That's the fun part. We just need to react and make sure that we're ready to come off the sideline. And I don't think it affected the way we played. There wasn't any kind of, first play off the timeouts was poor. We were focused. We keep moving. We kept trying to have them run. The wind was perfect last night. It didn't get windy and too terrible. But our kids get excited. But they got to mentally be prepared for some of the things that come with being on that stage. And I thought they handled it well.
Ohio last year is really the only game since you've been here that it was over quick in that first half.
We gift wrapped it.
Do you use that this week again?
Yeah, we'll talk about it. You have to do the things that you need to do to win a game. You have to be able to run the ball. You have to not turn the ball over. You don't need to win time of possession, but it helps you a ton. You got to limit big plays. There's like 700 stats, but there's about 5, 6, 7 that are the most important things to winning, and we're pretty good at those. And that game, we didn't do any of them. We turned the ball over. Watching Northern play Ball State, or watching Buffalo play Miami, where you just see teams turn it over 3-4 times inside their own 20, and you can't win. It doesn't matter what happens, you can't win that game. So I didn't judge Buffalo after watching them play Miami because I was like, Buffalo could be great. They turned it over 3 times inside their own, and they threw a pick 6 on their 10. So but that was our game. I mean, Jamari dropped a fumble, we dropped 2 kickoffs. It was over at halftime, and it was bad. And we'll talk about that and learn from it. Now we haven't been turning the ball over. We got to do a better job of getting the ball back. But yeah, it was an embarrassing loss, and we have a chance to redeem ourselves. Which same way with Ball State. And so I know our guys will have a chip on their shoulder about the way it went and the taste that it left in their mouth, and we got to do it at their place, which is going to be difficult. And so it's a great challenge. It's what you want in November.
What do you see when you look at a guy like Nathan Rourke on film?
A warrior, he throws the ball well. He's a great runner. They do so many things to outnumber you with running. If you're willing to run your quarterback consistently, you're hard to stop. And that's you watch NFL defenses try to stop Lamar Jackson. The numbers just purely aren't there. You can't create a 12th guy on defense. And you saw that last night with John. They played a lot of man coverage, and John made him pay for it. And so it's a difficult. They lost a ton of people off last year's team, but the one guy, if you told me we were going to lose like 15 fifth-year senior starters, but I got to keep one dude off that team, I would have picked him. Keep a warrior quarterback that can keep you in games. They're going to chew the clock. They're going to run the ball and take shots. We watched them against Ball State, 2 flea flickers, and guys wide open running. They didn't hit them, but they were guys wide open running down the field with the flea flickers and stuff that they ran. And so they still have an aggressive pass game. They don't have Poppy over there anymore, who seemed to be there forever. So the passing game has been limited that way. They just run the ball and play solid defense and shorten the game and they're in every game. They've been to overtime. They lost to Kent by 7. Then Miami was or not Miami. Who did they play? It was Kent. Kent was a close one. Overtime against Buffalo. So they're masters at staying in games and making it close. So I expect the same type game.
At this point, it's not like Levante Bellamy's surprising anybody.
It's not a secret anymore.
And he continues to, obviously just 31, 157, and 3 is a stupid night. How much of that is him versus the respect that the rest of your offense commands?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I really do. I think it's a commitment to our run game, which we've made as a program, trying all the different things of figuring out how they're fitting it. He missed a couple reads last night. You just got to get him into the rhythm, and he needs to stay patient, knowing that everyone's going to load the box, waiting to stop him. And it's going to give us some opportunities for some one-on-one shots outside. And so it's and I don't know if you noticed. It really was the story of the game. Our third and medium to long run game, where that was the one time we could get them in space. They have like all linebackers on the field. They don't have like 2 D linemen and 2 stand up, and so Jariga's coming off blocking a linebacker and driving him off the ball, and we got him into space a couple times there. Trying to get him into space in their base defense wasn't easy. We were trying a bunch of different things, and it allowed John to pull the ball quite a bit. This is the way they were overplaying him, But when you're a great player, you still find a way, And on that touchdown, he did a great job. Luke Jariga and Mike Caliendo took that guy for a ride, the shade, and he trusted it, and he literally left his feet. I think he just left his feet to go get the first down, and then when Jariga opened, the C's opened, and he landed on his feet, which I think shocked him, and then he went into the end zone from there. But he seems to have a good feel, and I felt like he was I got on him a couple times. He's so coachable. He ran out of bounds once on a play that ended up with we were in 3rd and 3 when I think he could have get us to 3rd and 1, and that's not him, and it killed. He was angry from that. I think that from that point on, it was on, and I think it was refocused and dialed in, and it's hard to stop him. We have to continue to find ways to get the ball in space, and a couple new wrinkles to get him on the edge faster. And we used him in the pass game once, and had a couple other things in the pass game we didn't get to, but It's not a secret, but you still got to show up and stop him. And he's been fun to watch. And the Sean's following him, and Tuck had some big 4th down and 3rd down runs. And those guys, those three, they get along. They're all learning from each other. It's fun. That's a fun group to watch.
You just kind of talk about how the weeknight games changes your routine a little bit, and personally, does it give you a little more time, maybe on a Saturday to spend a little more time with your family and spend some time at home or whatever?
No, it doesn't. We pretty much work every day of the week, all day. So, whether you're getting home at 10 or 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night or a Saturday night, it doesn't really affect you much. This last week with 3 extra days, it was great. We got our game plan done by like Wednesday. So yeah, Saturday and Sunday were awesome. I went and saw my son play hockey, one day, which was awesome. And we're practicing later at night, so I got to see a Saturday morning hockey game, which was fun for me. So there were some really unique things. But if you just take 7 days to get ready to play a Division I college football game, it doesn't matter what day's what, because you're there till it's dark every night anyway. So you have your things you get done on Monday. Like today's Sunday to me. You guys can say whatever day you think it is. It's Sunday to me today. And so and this is the longest day of the week. Sunday's the longest, and it gets a little bit shorter on Monday and a little bit shorter on Tuesday. And normally see your family for the first time on Wednesday. And then Thursday you get to see them a little bit more, Friday, and then we play Saturday. So it doesn't, when you only get 7 days between, it doesn't affect you. When you get longer, then yeah, it was huge for everyone to get to see their family a little bit more.
And then it looked like Bellamy kind of took a hit there in the first half. It might have been, helmet to helmet. Were you surprised that, I don't know if you saw the play, but were you surprised that they didn't take a second look at that for?
They review everything. I mean, I always ask you watching that, you looking at that. I mean, I thought there was one with Gio where he got hit, and it was a clean hit, and so, but yeah, they double check everything. They buzz down to check all that. So yeah, it was a good clean hit. He didn't quite get him. He got his bell rung a little bit, and laying on his shoulder, and he was fine. We kept him out a little bit. I thought when he came back, he was a little jittery on his first cut, and then he calmed back down and got into rhythm. And obviously had a pretty good day.
You were a 4-year starting quarterback here in the 90s. I think most people would probably agree you were the face of the program during that time. NCAA recently passed a measure that looks like it's going to open up players to profit off their name, image, and likeness. How do you feel about that?
Is the NCAA video game going to come back? Because it was the greatest video game of all time. I still have it at home. My kids still play it. I think it's great. It's going to be really interesting because there's so many things that come along with that. I've talked to a lot of people. I think it's a work in progress. I think it's great if people are going to make money off our players' name, image, and I think they should get a piece of that for sure. Now, what if this, and all the scenarios of who might want to use that and why they want to use it and how much can this guy get versus that guy? What are the limits? I mean, that's going to be a battle, and they got to get in a room with a bunch of people that can ask all those questions so they can make it so it doesn't become a recruiting thing. Hey, if you go here, we can get you this much, and so they're going to be there's going to be other parts to this puzzle. I think they're headed in the right direction. I think it's for the players, which I'm 100% for, but we have a lot to figure out because people are coming at it already from different angles. I think it was Coach Bath told me that there's some senator that wants to tax them on their whole scholarship if they accept anything. So there's going to be a lot of hands in the jar, and we got to sit down and talk it all through. And I think we got till 2022 or 23 to do that. But I think if your heart's in the right place and it's for the players, it's a good thing to do, and it's a good thing to go into. We just got to make sure you can't do it too fast or people will abuse it. And but I'm excited that we're heading that way. I mean, I truly believe we went 13 years as an American Football Coaches Association, the AFCA, and we didn't make any changes in football. It was embarrassing. It's hard to get all of us on the same page. There's a lot of us. Basketball was way ahead of us. I mean, people were texting normal, like everyone was texting, and still we hadn't passed texting yet. We were like 5 years behind everybody else. And about 5-6 years ago, we started to try new things. And what didn't mean it was going to be right, but we started moving there. We started catching up with basketball and coaches because social media was changing, and we weren't willing to change. And I feel like we're starting to try things, and it's heading now. Is it going fast enough? Nothing's fast enough. But I do feel like as a sport, we are trying to stay up with what's going on, because there was a good time where there were no new rules ever, and now we got new rules every year. We're trying, and it won't be pretty, but as long as the thing's moving the right direction, I think we'll eventually get closer.